Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stand Up Speakeasy. My name is Srethne, and every episode I bring on a comic or someone that helps produce comedy shows and all that good stuff. And if you hear my nephew in the background, I apologize. He's approaching his terrible twos, and I'm trying everything to do to sound block my room. And he's here visiting. But without further ado, all the way from Louisiana, Loueez. Hey, Loueez, how are you?
Hi. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you for being on the show today. It means a lot to me.
Thank you. It means a lot to me.
Awesome. And I'm looking forward to diving into your career as a burlesque dancer and more. And you're an award-winning performer known as the Honey Badger Burlesque. How did
Yes.
you get that nickname and all that good stuff?
One of my signature acts is based on Rufio from the movie Hook. And one of my dear friends, Josephine Shaker, like tweeted one day that Rufio is like the honey badger of burlesque. And then I just took that as my tagline. And it fits because I take what I want, I do what I want. You can't stop me. You can't keep me out of anything. I have thick skin. I can escape easily. It's me, Honey Badger.
Absolutely. Awesome indeed. Awesome nickname for sure. And I love Hook, and Robin Williams was a great actor in that.
Hook is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Indeed. I've seen him do like a show called Setless Stand Up Without a Net, and he had to do a whole set without his own set. And it was just words appearing on the background, and he had to make jokes out of it. It was just amazing.
Send me the link after this because I want to see that.
Absolutely, indeed, most definitely. And so you have a lethal combination of drama, hilarity, and killer kinetics, and you're a powerhouse that's taken stages across the country by storm. And where have you performed across the country, and what are your favorite venues?
Oh, I need to change that bio to as taken stages across the world by storm because now I've been out of the country.
Oh, fantastic.
So, yeah, my favorite places. Well, before I moved to New Orleans was one of my favorite places to visit and perform for sure. Our favorite venue here is called the Always Lounge and Cabaret. It's like, sorry, my cat is about to be like talking it up.
Indeed. I have my nephew outside my door, so I totally understand.
Yeah. He only like starts meowing as soon as I start doing something. Yeah. But I also really love traveling to New York, obviously pre-lockdown. New York has a lot of amazing shows, Seattle, and a lot of places, a lot of people like skip over everything that we have going on in the Midwest. Like Indianapolis has an amazing venue called the White Rabbit Cabaret, and they produce a lot of burlesque and comedy shows. Detroit is amazing. There's a lot of shit going on in Wisconsin. Who knew?
Indeed, and that's why like I'm having the stand-up speaking start off in Middle America because there's so many things going on and nobody knows about it.
Country. It's flyover. Everyone just flies over, and that's fine though because we got our own. We'll need everybody from the coast coming being involved in our shit. We don't need that.
Absolutely. I'm like Colorado native, so I totally understand everyone like just goes to snowboarding, but there's so many cool things in Colorado to explore.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So you don a mohawk sometimes, and you have patented the stank face. And
so my stank face.
What are the stories behind the mohawk and the stank face?
The mohawk is definitely part of my Rufio costume. Again, it's my signature act, or has been for a long time. So I have like the red and black feather hairpiece, and my stank face is like my resting face. I look like I'm always judging because bitch I am. Okay. I'm always judging. But my stank face is
awesome stuff. Same here. Like I'm a Capricorn, so like I have like that stone cold look, and I don't mean to have that look. It's just like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not really, that's just me.
Yeah. Capricorn, you're a Capricorn. I'm a Cancer. We're polar opposite signs, sister signs, though.
Indeed, most definitely. My mom's a Cancer, so it's fantastic. She's very loving.
Yeah, that's we are very loving.
Indeed, most definitely. So you serve up classic glamorous striptease and your consummate force, and that's one of the most memorable personalities of modern burlesque. That's part of your bio, and that's pretty neat that you described that was described that by you. And what got you into doing all those, strip teasing and all that good stuff?
Doing burlesque. It's actually been next month. It'll be 12 years of me performing burlesque, and I know that's hard to believe because I clearly look 23. So, I was actually in school. I was in college, going to school for musical theater performance, musical theater nerd, and I also was working at a strip club on and off at the time. And I had some friends that were doing burlesque shows, and somebody dropped out and they needed a replacement at the last minute. So I had like 2 weeks to get it together, and I've literally been doing it ever since that day.
Wow, that's a
Yeah,
long
I
time.
never said I wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a burlesque dancer." It kinda just happened, but I was like, "Oh, I can combine musical theater with stripping? Sign me up." Right, Kathy? Mr. Kathy agrees.
Awesome, fantastic. And you've been voted at the top 50 burlesque industry figures in 2000 since 2010.
Since
And
2010!
that's a long time. That's over a decade. That's
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
crazy.
Indeed. How do you keep that going? After all these years.
Well, there's a publication called 21st Century Burlesque. It's like our online home longest running burlesque publication. I think it's the longest running. And every year since 2009 they do a poll called the Burlesque Top 50. And so anyone can vote. You get to put in 5 to 10 names, I believe. And everyone, fans, performers, everybody votes for who they feel is their top 50 industry figures of the year. They can be performers, producers, instructors. It can be anybody in the burlesque industry and community. And the first time I was voted on there was after my first year of burlesque. And I was like, this is a mistake. I was like, they counted the votes wrong. This can't be real. But bitch, I deserved it. Okay, I did. But yeah, it's been crazy. Each year it's one of those things that you're like, I don't care about the list. It doesn't matter. But then you get on the list, you're like, this is the most important thing. So
Indeed.
yeah, it's been the past 2 years. I made it to the number one spot, which is unreal. So I really thank all of my fans and supporters and everybody who's voted year after year.
Indeed. I'm hoping and praying for a third year so you can get that dynasty crown.
Third year, number one.
That'd be awesome. And if where can we vote and all that good stuff?
They usually put out the poll at the end of the year, like around November, December, and it's at 21stcenturyburlesque.com. So that's 21st burlesque. Figure out how to spell that on your own.com.
Indeed, it's fantastic. Indeed. And so you also took the home of titles of Miss Viva Las Vegas in 2012. What were your memories from that contest?
Viva Las Vegas is a huge rockabilly convention that's been going on for like 20 something years at this point in Las Vegas. Every year, people from around the world travel. They have a huge burlesque competition. And that was my first ever burlesque competition ever. So I was very nervous. I was going up against people who I looked up to, who I couldn't even believe I made it into the competition. And it was by audience vote, which is stressful because they have like literally this clap-o-meter where they like hold it and people clap and then they're like, you're eliminated. So each round I was like, okay, I'm gonna be eliminated. And then I made it to the final round. There's pictures of me like ugly crying and everything. Like it was unreal. Right,
And
right, Kathy?
awesome. And you were also the Shimmy Showdown champion in 2013. Where did that take place, and what are your favorite memories from that?
Ooh, Shimmy Showdown takes place in St. Louis, Missouri, and I think that's been going on for like 10 years at this point almost. It's produced and created by Lola Vanella, who's my best friend and collaborator. And it's like a crazy burlesque improv, like death match competition. You don't know what the music is. You don't know what your prop is going to be. Your prop could be a boa, a chair, a person, a hot dog. You don't know. And each round you get like a certain amount of time to perform in this like elimination. And this was my third year competing that I won. And I was out for blood that year. I was out for blood. But each year since then, I've tried to sneak my way back into the competition, but Lola's not having it.
Indeed, that's so awesome that you got to win so many years in a row, and that's hopefully it keeps on going, and
Yes.
even in the pandemic. But and
You
you will.
know?
It's been rough, but we'll get through it for sure.
Yeah. We're making a
Indeed,
way.
absolutely. And you've also been the Southern Fried Burlesque Queen in 2014. Where did that take place, and what are some memories from that?
Oh, that festival no longer exists.
Oh,
It took place in Atlanta. It was crazy. It took place in this hotel, like conference room. Like it was wild. I could smell like the tater tots because they had a little buffet in the back of the room, but it was in the same room as the show. And like I could smell like the nachos that they had at the buffet. And I didn't think people told me that I had no business competing in that competition at all because at that point I had already won 2 awards. And I was like, but what if I want to win more awards?
exactly.
So I wasn't expecting, I kind of felt bad, like I shouldn't be in it. But then I won. So maybe, I don't know, everybody else should have stepped it up. I don't know what to tell you.
Indeed. Don't let no one stunt your growth. Just
Don't
keep
let
on shining.
nobody, don't make yourself smaller to appease anybody else.
Nope. Indeed. You only got one life to live and live it up.
Exactly.
Indeed, most definitely. And in 2018, you were named one of the top 10 most influential figures of the decade. And
Oh,
how'd you earn that title and all that good stuff?
it was another thing put together by 21st Century Burlesque. So because they had been doing the top 50 for 10 years at that point, they're like, we're going to do a top 10 burlesque figures of the past decade. And I don't even know if that was like I don't even remember voting for that. I don't know. I wasn't expecting that, but I came in at number 10. Again, floored. I couldn't believe it. Like at that point, I just still couldn't believe that I hadn't even been doing burlesque for that long, like let alone had made an influence and impact on so many people after all that time.
Indeed, most definitely. And I love
Mhm.
how you get to incorporate improvisation and comedy into your routine. And
Yes, I am definitely a comedy queen when it comes to burlesque. I love making comedy sexy.
indeed, that's pretty awesome because we need more comedy and we need more sexy.
Yeah, and also strippers are hilarious. Like people don't know. We have so many great tales and jokes.
Indeed, especially when it comes to like some clients and
Don't even get me started. Okay. Yeah,
indeed,
exactly.
most definitely. You're also an MC, and you can be seen in the award-winning short film Signature Move. And what was it shooting like on Signature Move?
Signature Move was so fun. I think it was my first short film that I did that was like a professional film situation. And I played a wrestling ring announcer for a lucha libre lesbian wrestling competition. So, how about them apples? It was
Wow.
so fun. I actually just rewatched the movie the other day because it was just fun to play. I really love wrestling. I grew up in wrestling. Um, and I had always wanted to do a lucha kind of show. There's something called time. So it was cool to incorporate wrestling in a different part of my life.
Indeed, most definitely. And who is your favorite pro wrestler?
Oh, who's my favorite pro wrestler? I'm like, I don't know who wrestles today. Okay.
Me
I'm
neither.
talking about people from like 1999. Like that was the heyday. I really loved Diamond Dallas Page. I was a DDP fan for sure. Never really cared about The Rock for real. Did love me some Stone Cold Steve Austin. That was for
Indeed.
sure.
Indeed, I love like wrestling from the '90s. It's just like
Mhm.
because it was the Attitude Era, and it was just like
Yeah.
they didn't care. And I love like my favorite guy was Sabu because he was just like so rough and tough
Mhm.
and scary, but he did all the most wildest things,
Yeah.
and and he loved the sport. So he's my
Yeah.
favorite. And you were also in the web series You're So Talented, and what was that like?
Ooh, You're So Talented, was created, directed, produced by one of my best friends, Samantha Bailey, based in Chicago. And it's just about young Black artists finding their way, navigating the city, navigating life in Chicago. And yeah, I actually got to be featured on it with one of my other best friends, Megan. And we basically played ourselves. I'm pretty sure my character's name is Jeezy in this in this show. Yeah, we basically played ourselves, and You're So Talented went on to win some amazing awards. It's a really good show. Y'all should check it out. And yeah, I'll check it out on OTV. If you look up OTV, it's an incredible programming station. And that was fun because I just got to smoke weed, and like we filmed it in my best friend's house. So it was basically just like us every day.
Indeed, that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. I forgot to ask you, where can we find Signature Move?
Signature Move, I'm pretty sure you can rent it on YouTube, and it's also on Amazon Prime. Also, if you go on Instagram to Signature Move Movie, they have a whole link that gives you all the options.
Awesome, fantastic. Make sure you watch all that good stuff. And you were
Yes.
also on the Netflix original series Easy on season 2, episode 7. And what was working with Netflix like and all that good stuff?
That I would say that experience is like my pride and joy. That experience is like my top career experience for sure, because it wasn't just like I auditioned and got this part on Netflix or something. I started talking to Joe Swamberg, the creator, writer of Easy, and he was looking for somebody to consult about burlesque because he wanted to write an episode for two of the main characters where they take burlesque classes and start getting involved in burlesque. But he was like, I'm not trying to write shit that I don't know about, especially from this like white man perspective. I was like, appreciate you, boo, because we would have been mad if you just like didn't even talk to nobody and just wrote whatever you felt like. So it was awesome because I really got to know him a lot. We talked almost every day. We went out to lunch, and I just told him what burlesque in Chicago is like, what the industry is like, what the community is like. But I was also like, you're not going to be taking this information and not putting me in the because I'm an actor, so I was like, clearly I'm gonna need to be in it, sir. And so it was amazing. They were so awesome because it was around the time when we were doing one of our big Jeezy's Juke Joint festivals. So Netflix, they came and filmed at the festival. I got to play myself. I got to be my own name. They said Jeezy's Juke Joint in the script. Like, one of my goals, like I love film and television, and one of my goals, as much as I love acting, is to really, I want to make a career off of playing myself for sure. Like, oh, that's Jesus the nosy neighbor. Oh, look, it's Jesus the barista. So
Indeed.
it was awesome because I got to play myself. I got to just really involve the whole production in the world of burlesque, from like telling them like what a student showcase would be like, what classes would be like, what costuming would be like. And I was very fortunate because they listened and really took a lot of care with the episode. So I'm very proud of it.
That's awesome. And that's so neat to put your brand out there and be yourself. It's so
Yeah.
awesome to be on a Netflix show. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, at
Uh,
the festival, we got to put up the little sign that's like, "Attention, Netflix is filming in this venue." So it's got to put the sign up. Oh, it was amazing.
Awesome stuff. And in 2019, you released Loueez, which was a web series you co-created with your comedy duo Lola Von Ella. And
Yeah.
what was that like? The whole experience?
Well, Lola and I have been emceeing together creating together, producing together, collaborating together for many, many years now. Um, and we had always wanted to do our own web series. And so we filmed the first episode right before the pandemic. And she also lives in New Orleans and we're roommates. So it was just about basically two broke ass showgirls trying to make a dollar in New Orleans. So our first episode took place pre-pandemic and then there was lockdown. So the next two episodes are in lockdown and we're currently writing the fourth episode. And it's just about me and my best friend being broke ass showgirls in New Orleans trying to figure it out.
Indeed. Where can we find the first episode?
Yes, the first three episodes are currently on burlesquegalaxy.com. And Burlesque Galaxy is a new website that's basically like the YouTube Netflix of burlesque. They have web series, they have shows, they have full length productions, information about burlesque from all over the world. So, highly recommend you check it out. Burlesquegalaxy.com.
Awesome. And in 2020, Loueez was voted the most influential performers of the year. And where did that take place?
It was for the top 50, the 21st Century Burlesque top 50. So last year I made number one as Loueez, and then this year Loueez got voted number one. So both of us is number one.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, during the lockdown we were doing like a weekly cabaret on Facebook, Instagram, and we were just like churning out entertainment because we wanted to be a refuge for all the bullshit that was going on in the world. So we wanted to just not try to keep a slice of normalcy, but still just create the joy and fun that we create all the time, but we had to do it in a different way.
Indeed. And when you're not on stage and not on screen, you produce unique and memorable live events. And what are some of your favorite live events that you created so far?
Well, my favorite one is obviously Jeezy's Juke Joint, a Black Burlesque review. It is an festival that's been going on for 9 years. We started out as one night in Chicago, and now it's a 3-night festival, and we tour around the country. And it basically started out as my Black History Month project because I wanted to find about more Black burlesque performers from the past and from that time around 2011. There wasn't a lot of information because a lot of our history is not recorded or blatantly erased. So I just started doing research and was like, yo, I want to turn this into a show, which then turned into a festival. And yeah, we do a show, big festival in Chicago every year. We go to Indianapolis, St. Louis. This past year, we went to San Francisco, Minneapolis, Syracuse. So we're just a big old black ass, gay ass traveling burlesque show.
That's so awesome. It reminds me of like I have my own festival named my name in Colorado, and it started off like I just wanted a one night show, just 3 musicians and 3 comedians, and then I tagged one member of each band, and they said we all want in on this, and so it turned into a big festival. So we're celebrating 9 years, or I think it's 8 years, but I'm bringing it to Daytona Beach this year. So just like you, were in the same boat, and it's so neat that we can bring all our friends along for the ride. It's so cool.
Exactly.
Most definitely. So your classes and productions have been featured on Autostraddle, Ebony.com, Windy City Live, and more. And what was it like to be featured in all those publications and all that good stuff?
Well, a lot of times, especially a few years ago, it was really hard to get publications to even like list your burlesque events in the city event entertainment calendar. Like burlesque is just so shadow banned and overlooked and not considered a legitimate art form by so many people that it's really hard to promote. And a lot of things are word of mouth. So I just was shocked and couldn't believe that these major publications were even like willing to feature anything on burlesque, let alone Black burlesque, especially ebony.com. Like, there's such a huge cultural marker for a lot of Black people and Black media. And so to be featured in Ebony was like, I couldn't believe it.
Indeed, that's so
Mhm.
awesome. And
Yeah.
just to get onto those platforms and means spoken of, it's fantastic.
Right. Just to even get the word burlesque into people's eyes and ears and brains, just so it becomes like an actual thing that people knows that exists and wants to support.
Indeed, most
Mhm.
definitely. And Jeezy's Juke Joint has been coming up a lot, and it's so neat that you brought it up, and you're the creator of it, and you've taken it all over the country.
Mhm.
And what are some of your favorite cities that you mentioned of, and what are some of your favorite memories from each of those cities?
Well, we've started out in Chicago. So Chicago is our home base, always first and foremost. And we do a yearly show in Indianapolis. And I mentioned Indy before, the White Rabbit Cabaret, which is an amazing, super cute venue. So my favorite, I think one of my favorite place to go is definitely Indianapolis for the White Rabbit Cabaret shows because the audience is just lit. The Indiana scene is definitely a little bit smaller, and there's not a lot of Black performers there. I think there's like one, no, there's like 4, 5 now. I don't know. For a long time, there was like 1, 2. And so the audience is just hungry for it and excited for it because the audience is always like super Black, which I love. And they just want, they like get so excited. And the line is like around the block for like an hour, 2 hours before the show. Um, and my other favorite show to do is in St. Louis because we usually have a live band with that show. So, like the essence of burlesque is like I love doing burlesque with the live band. It's awesome.
That's
Mhm.
awesome, and it's so neat that you brought it all the way out to. I mean, started
Yeah.
off in Chicago and just grew
Mhm.
in so
I
many
mean,
different states.
Syracuse, who knew? I
And
never was like, you know where I want to go? Syracuse, New York. But Syracuse was like, please come, we need it. And we had the best time.
awesome, fantastic. And in 2021, you co-starred in Finesse, and it's a web series created by Vincent Martel. And how did you link up with Vincent and create?
Vince is a dear, dear, dear old friend, creator of VAM Studio, which was based in Chicago. And Vince and I have been friends for a really long time. And we've actually hosted some of our Jeezy's Juke Joint events at VAM Studio. So that's like the home for our Hotbox party. And Vince wrote this web series, like a short web series, only like 4 episodes. And he hit me up and was like, yo, this is your character. You are this person. Like, I'm going to need you to be in this web series. And yeah, we filmed it over 1 week last summer safely in Chicago. It hasn't been released yet, but they're releasing some teaser images. So it's going to be released soon. So follow at Finesse TV, Finesse on TV on Instagram because I'm really excited to see what that looks like.
Indeed, most
Mhm.
definitely. And I know it's an error on my part that I put your ticker on for like the longest time, and now that I have it corrected, I have your Instagram and Twitter on below here,
Oh,
and
okay. I didn't even notice. So
me neither. I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, there's something wrong with this
it's
ticker,
all good.
but we got it right now. And be sure to follow with Jeez Louise on
Oh.
Instagram and Twitter. Donate to her Venmo and Cash App because I'm trying to put money in your pocket as much as I can.
Hey, thank
And
you.
you're welcome, indeed. And so those are jeezloueez.me/links for all your Jeez Louise information and all that good stuff. And Jeez Louise, are there any information final words you'd like to give out to the audience at home?
Final words to the audience at home. Yes, I live and die by this, which is make that money, but don't let the money make you. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Players Club, a piece of classic Black cinema, for that gem.
Absolutely. I love that
Mhm.
movie, Ice Cube and
Yeah,
all that all those
Mhm.
fine folks. Bernie
So
Mac.
good. Yes.
Eh,
Oh, rest in peace.
Indeed, rest in peace for
Mhm.
sure. And thank you so much, Loueez, for being my guest today. And before we go, I forgot to give a shout out to Pueblo, Colorado's burlesque scene, and we have a mutual friend in Harlequin Aces.
Pueblo,
Yep,
bitch! I haven't performed there in so long. Shout out Harley. Yes, shout out. Oh my god, I love it. I loved Harlequin Aces. Dear, dear
and
friends.
awesome stuff. And it made
Mhm.
me think of them when I was talking to you through this whole thing. And I love them, and they're
Yeah,
fantastic folks.
yeah,
And
awesome.
indeed. I miss burlesque, and hopefully after this pandemic is over, we can get back onto the stage because I'm a stand-up comedian too, and so
Yes, well, hopefully we'll do some shows together soon.
that'd be fantastic. And speaking of stand-up comics, are there any comics you'd like to recommend for the show that would
Ooh,
you?
any stand-up comics I would like to recommend for this show? Imma have to think about
Uh,
it.
for sure, indeed. It's been too long, for
Imma
sure.
be for real, Imma have to think about it, okay?
Absolutely.
I'll text you.
Awesome, fantastic. Thank you so much, Louise, for
Oh,
being on.
actually, no, this is who you need to talk to. You need to talk to Tribble. She is out in LA now. I think if you Imma send you the information. Y'all need to look up Tribble. Tribble is everything, like, that's my bitch.
Awesome. I'm supposed to do a festival in November, and hopefully we can link up, and hopefully I can see her Tribbles perform and that
Yes.
good stuff. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Louise, for being my guest on the show today, and it means a lot to me. And I look forward to seeing you performing wherever the road takes us.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and for everyone else for the stand up speakeasy, be well, everyone. Wear a mask, take care of each other, and we will see you on the